If we pull back just on one lever, we'll turn to the left on the left lever. We'll turn to the right on the right lever. Very, very simple. If we pull these back past where we were, we're going backwards. Couldn't be easier. Honestly, forwards, backwards. You don't have to do anything with your feet. Then of course you can have one wheel going backwards and one forwards, and we're simply turning. Now we can make the deck go sideways. If we want to get a bit of grass, we'll come past here and we want to swing in there, we can actually make the deck go sideways like that. Now that is something you use a lot.
You got very, very good control on the slope. Coming down to the bottom, we're going to spin around and go back up. So our trimming is very, very good on this machine. But it's very, very nimble. So I can come here, I can spin around, square corner. I've got every single bit of it. But I'm going to just pop under the slide and show you one of the advantages of an out front deck. So I can put that all the way under this there. So those weeds under there, I've just mown them. I didn't have to get my weed eater out. And it's very, very fast and very, very quick. Very, very nimble. So I've mown that whole bit there without the single need of any weed eater. So what you get with the steep hill kit is you get two of these very good all-terrain tyres. You get a New Zealand made weight kit at the back. And then what we're also doing here is we move the position of the spring here. So this is where the standard mount point for the spring is. This is the new mount point. So what that's doing is transferring more weight from the cutting deck back onto your drive tyres. So now when we come down, so this is still floating, but it's slightly lighter than what it is before. And this point here that I'm on is probably the hardest point. And just for good luck, I'll stop and spin around. So now what Brian's doing is going around this typical little garden edge in his orchard. So he's coming in, trimming. You can see with that out front deck out where it should be, perfect for trimming, right in there around the trees. Gets right in tight beside the edges so that there's no missed trimming. Perfect 0 round to go. So excellent little trimming demonstration there. Having that deck out the front where it should be makes a huge difference. So now he's going to go up across the brow of this hill. Now if you watch the front of the deck, it'll be floating with the contour all the way across, so it's not scalping. That's what you want on a mower. If he didn't have a out front floating deck here, he would be scalping very badly across there. See, the deck nicely follows the contour all the way across. So now the blade kit that we use inside discharge, if you have the mulching kit, the New Zealand mulching kit, doesn't change. So even inside discharge, it's still using the Mach 2 Stevens New Zealand design blade kit. So you get inside discharge, you actually get a very fine cut. Now what you're going to see is we're going to tilt the deck up and we're going to fit the mulching baffle so you can see it working. So now what we're doing is we're simply lifting up the deck. So the mulching baffle just pushes in like such, so it doesn't actually require any tools to fit. So there's simply 3 knobs on the top, which he's now adding with that tilt up deck. It's one of the beautiful advantages. Toolless and simple to add the mulch kit. Now if you come around here and have a look underneath the deck, what you'll see here is the New Zealand designed and made mulching system. So this bottom blade comes around and cuts it. This sail on the back of the blade is what's lifting the grass up. But most importantly, this blade at the top, whilst it's second cutting it, more importantly, it's acting like a floating ceiling. So it's cutting the grass, but forcing it back down into the ground. Your traditional US style mulching kits that you'll find on all the other machines we've looked at, they have this wavy blade on which will lift the grass up, but in New Zealand's wet conditions, it'll plaster on the top of the deck. Then all of a sudden you'll hear cloof, and there'll be big rings all around your lawn from lumps of wet, pulpy grass that have dropped. So I use the Model R at my house with a mulching kit in it, and personally I wouldn't use it without the mulching kit. It does such a good job. When it comes to summertime and you got dusty conditions, it means that you're not getting covered in dust at the end when you're turning or the wind's blowing. And it also means you can actually, if you want, you can have the side discharge flap lifted up, which now means you can trim with this machine on both sides. So the mulch kit not only does it do an incredible job, but it actually means that your user experience is significantly better. So the secret with mulching is to not have it too low, because what you're wanting to do is hide the bit of grass in there. And if you do it right, it'll have your lawn looking like you've caught it. So now you'll see him do some mulching. You can see here the Walker signature stripe starting to come through. You didn't know he was mulching, you probably think that was being caught. Nothing's being thrown out. I'm standing here on the side of it, nothing's coming out. Really makes a beautiful job and significantly enhances the user experience.
Alright, we've now fitted some 8.5-inch wide all-terrain tyres. I'm going to show you that even though they look quite aggressive tyre, provided you master the driving technique correctly, that is having one, when you turn, having one wheel rolling forward and the other one turning backwards, it doesn't mark the turf. So here we go, we've got one wheel going forwards, one wheel going backwards, and away we go. Yeah, we can go up there no problem at all. The question is, when we try and stop on here, how do we get on going again? And that's no problem. So we have increased traction with these tyres.